So, I got some bad news for a lot of people. If you really don't want to hear this, I suggest clicking off the video right now. But for those of you who had grandfathers or great uncles that were in World War II or even the Korean War, regardless of what they told you, they may have told you this for your sake, but I guarantee you they didn't wait for marriage to have sex. What kind of fantasy are we living in where we really think the beaches of Normandy were stormed by a bunch of good Christian kids who waited for marriage to have sex? What kind of fantasy are we living in here? You really think you really think we would have won D-Day with the men storming the beaches of Normandy and the men in the airborne dropping behind enemy lines, parachuting behind enemy lines? You really think most of those men didn't get laid before they went into the biggest war that's ever been fought? I mean, I'm sorry to break the bad news, but what kind of freaking fantasy are you living in? He may have gotten married for the first time in his life after the war. But you can go look this up. There were army nurses that were, supposedly were, 100% followed the Bible. And this is coming from somebody who believes in it and all of it. But I'm also living reality. And I realize that you have sin, and then you have a thing called human nature. And you can go look up about the army nurses, but a lot of them were having sex with men that had been injured or whatever, that struck up relationships with these men in the field hospitals. No, I'm not saying all of them, but there were army nurses that did that. Sorry to break the news about maybe one of your grandmother, possibly, but so that's all I got to say.